The other day I made a video talking about Crucible. It is Amazon Game Studios' first real game, it's their first real foray into PC gaming and free-to-play space, and it's something that I assume they hope to make a profit. It's also a bit of a test. As I mentioned in the video, they seem to be testing on a meta level, they're testing what sticks within the game, how they can move forward. Amazon also has New World coming out in August, and they did have Breakaway, but I believe it was a little too similar to Bleeding Edge, which was from Ninja Theory, I believe, so they cancelled it. So there are effectively two games in Amazon's catalogue, and they've been around since about 2013, I believe, or 2014. This is kind of strange, and it backs up something I've been thinking about for quite a while with Amazon. If you aren't familiar with big tech, right, Netflix, Spotify, Apple, Google, Facebook, etc., etc., Amazon is in that group. And the very interesting thing that sets Amazon apart from all of these people is that they don't need to make a profit. Amazon's investors, for some reason, have been very happy by not getting any sort of profit margin because Amazon reinvest it. For 15 years straight, they have reinvested nearly all of their profits. Now, if this happens in games, this is kind of worrying. The idea about games is to, yes, make art, but companies want to make a profit. And the fact that Amazon can go out there with a blank checkbook and take up talent from all of the best studios in the world, pick up legendary names and designers, and pay them whatever they want to pay and say, hey, you want to work on this game? Go work on it. What do you want to make? Go work on it. We don't care. Go nuts. This is kind of worrying because that opens the door then. Amazon is already a really safe place to work because they have so much pull in so many different areas. In big tech, it's very popular now for people to, or not people, but companies to move into different sectors. They've almost used up all of the resources and taken everything that is there for them to take in their respective areas. For Amazon, that is online shopping. They rule that marketplace. I think it's like 80% or something. It's a ridiculous amount of people that just purely use Amazon for that one particular thing, which is why they moved into Amazon Prime, video, music, books, etc. And they do this kind of like this amorphous kind of blob. They just kind of move out and out and out. Now, the big one in the next couple of years will be Amazon Healthcare. That will be something they want to revolutionize and change. On their way to that, they're dealing with media, and in that category is games. Now, the interesting thing here really is, like I said, if they don't need to make a profit and they're just allowing any developer and designer with any name tag to say, hey, make whatever game you want. If it can do reasonably well, we will fund it. That leaves the likes of EA, it leaves Activision, it leaves all of these big publishers worrying because they don't have that same freedom. Now, a lot of people will kind of cheer this on, right? They'll say, yes, this is really good. Amazon's going to come in and it's going to bully Activision and EA and all of these people, and they're going to start making better games. That's not entirely true. For all their faults, Activision and EA actually do have a lot of good studios under their belt, and despite people wanting to acknowledge it, put out a lot of good games. There's always the popular ones that people like to rag on, but there are really, really good games that come from all of these different publishers. If suddenly they go up against a publisher in the name of Amazon that doesn't need to worry about how much money they're making, they can effectively take all of the talent, and I genuinely believe that that puts us in a position as consumers to have way worse games, just games that just are nowhere near as good as what we have been getting the last couple of years. So what do we do about this? How do we prevent this? Well, we have to do something that gamers have never been good at doing, and that is voting with our wallets. Don't download the game, don't play the games, don't pay any attention to them, and don't give them what they want. If the game is not good, for example, Crucible, I think is a fine game, but it is not going to take my attention away from something like Valorant. I'm not going to give it the time of day because it's not earned it. And I think we should hold our games to just as a high of a standard as we would do with any other publisher or developer, and keep Amazon in line with what we believe it makes a good game. Don't let them just simply pay their way to the top. It's kind of a scary time because they are really in pole position to do this more so than anyone else. The only other kind of merge that could happen, I believe, will probably be Disney with Nintendo in the next 10 years or so, because Nintendo's really struggling in terms of figuring out a way where they can move outwards. Their individual IPs are worth billions and they don't do anything with them. The fact that Nintendo don't have theme parks and billion-dollar movie franchises based around Mario and Zelda and Metroid is just ridiculous to me. And I really feel like at some point Disney's going to come in and be like, look, you do a really good job, we like what you do, but we're really good at this, and this. We're going to take that off your hands. That puts us in a really strange position as gamers, where in 10 years time, we've effectively got Disney and Amazon duking it out as the two biggest publishers in gaming. I don't necessarily want that. There's some good things to it, there's some bad things to it, but it is worrying nonetheless. This is, of course, just my opinion. It is just something I thought of on a little bit of a whim when I was making the Crucible video, and I wanted to put it into a separate video to let it breathe on its own, and actually in the comments to start a conversation. Do you think this is true? How do you think this will go down? If you think I'm right, feel free to tell me in the comments. If you feel like I am totally off the mark, tell me in the comments, and I will happily reply and get into a nice little debate with you. Thank you so much for watching the video. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers in 2020, so if you could subscribe, that would be super awesome. If you want to get into that debate with me, comment down below.